Robert couldn't be here tonight, so he asked me to run this also. So this will start the General Government Public Safety Committee meeting for Monday, May 12th. Uh, we've already taken attendance. Are there any comments from citizens for this meeting? All right. Then we will go to police report. Chief?
Yeah.
Any specific comments, anything you want to highlight?
No, we're working on filling the allotted money for the building. We're in front of a pretty good chunk of it on flooring, so that's in the midst of that. We've done the bathroom and redone the lobby, and I mean, we've made some decent changes, and so it's not such a dreary place to walk into and at least work or visit or whatever. So moving along on that. Hopefully that'll be done in about a.
Is the after hours still hooked up in there yet?
Nope.
Is it?
Question. We've got a ticket in with forward slash, and that's been in for a while, so it's kind of of course the. One thing that came up, not necessarily with the council, but in our deconstruction of some of the, of the break,
That wasn't like.
and I was not sure. So there was an alarm box over there. It was a telecommunication box of some sort. And then we also had a keypad over there. Well, the keypad got disconnected. So there's panic buttons in here that used to go to the police department. They don't go to the police department anymore. So whatever button you have over there and any buttons you have there that are panic related,
They're not operable.
no. So, I mean, it's closed in over there, but in here you're not, but that's call 311.
I think we're hitting a panic button, it's 911.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll probably end up taking that box down because it's just. Oh, I do have one more thing. If you guys care to see this, and I don't remember you caring last year to see it, but they do driver stop information. The state compiles numbers, and they. Why is it? It's not a big deal up here, but it is a big deal in Columbia because they think there's a disparity in the drivers that are stopped and taken against or not taken against. If you look at these, we are stopping about 1.8 people a day for the year, which is about 650 people ish. So, and if you look at the numbers, you can draw your own conclusion. But we stop people and we don't ticket them 10% of the time. We don't list them all that much. It's just if y'all want to see it, it's decent information to have in case somebody were to ever ask you, hey, what's your cops doing in that town, you know? You can tell them, ain't no news here, so.
Right.
Anyway,
Do you turn that in someplace or
it gets reported to the state.
the state draws up the report?
They created the platform for driver stop information. You have to tell them approximate age and race and whether you searched them or whether you didn't search them, whether you found contraband, whether you didn't. So they compile all that information and at the end of the year they push out.
Okay. We have all these take vehicle home policies samples in here. Are y'all gonna have to discuss that? We're two councilmen short.
Yeah, so obviously it's preferable you guys discuss it when you're all together, but I don't know when it might happen again. It might be next month. But there was quite a bit of discussion last month, so put it on the agenda again.
I guess I would like
there were
to
some
see
questions
this,
about the range, if we were to do it, and, no, did Robert reach out to you, Chris?
Not to me, I thought.
No? Okay,
In reference to this?
yeah.
I guess I would like to, instead of having three, I'd like to see this condensed into one that we review.
So, this is to kind of give you examples of what
I understand.
local, so that if, when we get to a point where we decide we do want to do something, we can come up with a policy that works for Centralia.
I think for tonight, just about to say we've been duly notified.
I agree. I've talked to several Boone County deputies that live here in town. And they told me some things that kind of just turned my decision on. I'm looking at it a lot different than I did. There's a lot to it, and I mean, we're gonna have a discussion on this, I know, but, and they told me some things they do on, you know, if you're here so long, you live in town, you don't have a choice. There's things we can do to manage that where we could make this work. It's kind of like the space thing you all were talking about, the office. There's a lot to that, having your own car. That I don't see it that way. I get in one of our trucks, my God, it's terrible. But I can see the point of that, and you take care of it a lot better than you do. But when you talk out of this and get some of the other departments, I hadn't talked to Highway Patrol about it. I'm not going to either, but it makes sense more. So maybe you should maybe do that too if you have a chance, and they will tell you. I look at it differently after talking to those guys. So,
I'm not against it. I think
but even the mileage
our
difference.
big decision is how far you can allow somebody to.
Well, they're on the clock during that time as well. As soon as they get in that car and they take off, according to Sydney, they're on the clock. So they're counting time. So the time it takes them to get from their home to here, you know, that's all on the clock.
Because they're in a city vehicle?
No, Sydney says as soon as they get in that vehicle and start driving.
Why is that?
I think she said she was gonna double check on that.
Yeah,
I know
That's what she
that
said.
other agencies, that, like, if they work for the county, they don't clock in on the clock until they hit the county line. Am I correct in?
there's, I think it's called the minimum time there. It's like when someone comes to work and you force them to get dressed at work. Are they on the clock? Are they not? And the general idea is that they're not. Now, the expectation is if you're driving in a police car and there's an accident and you roll by the accident waving at them like this and don't stop, you got a problem. You're cute or something down. That's a personal professional responsibility that you have. Now, the other part of that is you're driving to work, you're not gonna speed to town to go take a stolen bike report. When you get here, we'll take the report. My thought would be that when you're in service, if, like, let's say there's a late call. You're on your way in and you get here 15 minutes early, yeah, you can take that domestic from the ship so they don't have to stay over and do overtime, if that makes sense. You can assume the call. That's one thing, but when you flip open the laptop, you can review the call, but you're not necessarily at work yet. When you hit down, you'll be working. I don't know how really to put that. I don't want them speeding here. If they have something like that. It's just not necessary.
No, they should be, generally, they should obey the rules of the road.
By state law, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. If your lights and sirens are not on, you are not an emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
You're a motoring motorist. So,
So Jared, are we gonna set a time to have a discussion on this and finalize this thing? Cause we got, sooner or later, it's not going away.
I can get this on the Board of Alderman agenda.
Yeah.
only thing I would say is we got to get on the list to purchase the cars, and you're kind of the second call of the highway patrol, so my preference would be that we get push it out 45 or 60 days. I think I would like to extend the board, I'd like to get getting on the list for the cars.
When did they put that list out?
Well, I think there's an ongoing list, but
You get
the
it
people that are on.
you
the
get it
list-
live.
Well,
And more cars keep coming in and keep coming in and no answer, so it's like we're calling.
I believe there's just, what I've heard in the feedback, right, and the discussions going on, I think it's just some, the mileage and how far out, that kind of thing, and getting that reined in is part of the big pushback, right? When what I've heard, I wasn't at the last meeting, but I was brought up to speed with it, so, and brought up to speed, but, so I think that this is something that's hung out there. I think that we need to do something with it. I think that if we know we've vetted things, concerns, public, thoughts, they won't be sitting out there. Is one thing that's come up too. So people won't see how many cars we have. They say, they're always asking about how many cars we have, how many officers we have, that kind of thing. But we just need to figure it out. So I think we should put it on and we should go in closed session and get through this thing next week
I don't know that it's closed session.
or whatever. I don't care what kind of session it's in.
Yeah.
I just assume let's get it on the agenda
But
and
yeah, I
let's
can
get
get
it
it
worked
on the
through.
agenda.
I hate having it come up and up because we can continue to look at different scenarios. Well, the scenario that's going to fit is the one that we choose for us and how we're going to craft it, right? So we need to do that as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and you draft a policy, you can always modify.
Well, if there's a need to, if it needs to be massaged at some point because there's something going on that we need to close the loophole.
But I agree, we need to make it. we need
So I
to-
think we should, I hate just spinning it around when we've
Yeah.
got all the information. I think we need to do something with it, right? Is that fair? So let's put that on in whatever format. I wasn't going to go in closed session to hide anything. I don't have any problem talking about what my thoughts are of it, and us talking through it. So no problem. Put it on it.
Okay, then we will go to fire department.
The medical calls were down a little bit. I just want to say the guys did a good job of doing what they had to do with Truck is still down in St. Louis. I've emailed him 2 or 3 times and he hasn't said nothing big is wrong yet, but he has said nothing not. So we're still in the, if they feel like it's an electrical wire that's short. I'll reach out to him again tomorrow and see what we can come up with. It's got a few wires on it, I'm sure it'll harness. Other than that, I don't know. Y'all ever talked about the 4th of July? We're gonna do the 4th of July this year on the 4th of July. They're okay with doing it on Friday. Next day, you got a day to do it still and throw families or what have you and have a weekend.
Don't burn down my house. You won't be here, so don't burn down my house later.
The chief's right there. He's ready to just bounce on it. That's really about all I have.
You have a bid in here for
Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Yeah. So he reached out to several different dealers. I think reminded several different dealers multiple times. And we've ended up with one submitted bid. So that bid that is on your packet is from Jim Butler. Their bid price was the $59,899.
Compared it around the similar ones elsewhere, and it's a decent bid.
It is. So, obviously, no decision tonight, but we probably will have something in recommendation to, if you guys are, so the I think budgeted was 60,000 for that vehicle. So,
Is that why it came down to 59,899?
no,
Y'all tell them that?
no, we didn't tell them,
What made them do that?
huh?
A phone call made them come down?
I guess, I just asked
Oh,
them if they were comfortable with their bid and whatever they turned in was what I had to present to you all, and that's, so they did not know any numbers, so. But the good thing is,
They didn't know that other people had.
Yeah, tonight is the first night that's been let out, is that the other dealerships just failed to.
How long did it take them to get back with you?
Butler?
Yeah, pretty quick.
Second day, I think. Yeah, I mean, they absolutely obviously want to keep our business. They're very reactive to that, and I think that's worth a little bit of, value, so. But it doesn't do any good when other dealerships don't put bids in, so. I have the same problem going on right now with, the electrical truck. Received one and sent it out to 6, so.
Are you able to get on state bid at all? I mean,
They can fleet price on the dealership side. They can do that. But the good news for that, if that progresses forward, the sirens and the lights that will be able to be removed off of the truck that we plan on selling can be implemented on
You can use
On the
those on that
Tahoe.
other work.
yeah. So we won't have to spend any money trying to get that thing.
And this is in the budget. $50,000 in the budget.
So outfitting it'll end up going up.
Go with that. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing with me is,
The decal.
a decal.
So what, do you have any idea what that'll run? I mean, we'll have to put it on. I mean,
I went and over to Lynn. He said he would rather see the vehicle measured and stuff like that.
it's fine.
you got on that too, then if you need another,
Where's he out of?
I want to say Hallsville, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
But I mean, I believe that number, and we can give it to you if you want.
I mean, just, you might, like I said, the name and maybe start
I think just based upon what I've done for the utility trucks, I would say we're probably gonna be in the 300 to 400 range
Oh,
for
right.
decals,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. We're not talking thousands.
No.
Hundreds of dollars. Okay, good.
Now they're gonna pull quite a bit of, what they can off of
Sure,
the truck
sure.
now to transfer over.
Oh, equipment can get very expensive. It's just decals.
Yeah,
It
just
should
the
be-
decals.
I know you guys get into that when you change, brands of cars, types of cars, that your stuff doesn't fit. Like the cage,
Well,
steel,
changes, whole
yeah,
bit,
stuff
or
like that.
things that you-
Which are expensive. I mean, it adds up pretty quick when
Yeah, on our car stuff, we're gonna be right at, I mean, right at the limit of what we got, so, and we might have to do some slow rollout for that, so we'll see.
Okay, so I guess we'll have that on the board item. And, okay. Anything other public safety or economic development?
15 days until Anchorfest. Visiting, I'm meeting with Tara and Matt Thursday.
Thanks, what?
Sorry. Do you have a question?
Emergency management,
Mhm.
they're going to note that, FEMA, it's cooperation, with states and locales for, management. So just so that everyone's aware of that,
I have not heard that.
it's one of the many that we decided. That's it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Brittany had a meeting with Tara and Matt Thursday to get everything finalized and report to the city. Mark Williams attended this meeting and gave his report for the car show. Everything is moving along great. The chamber is gearing up and excited. Brittany and Mark are doing a fantastic job getting everything organized. We're very fortunate to have those two in those positions. Brittany arranged for a shuttle again this year, provided by Jim Butler, from their parking lot to downtown. They're actually getting a van, so. This was utilized and was very beneficial last year. The chamber, Anchorfest, will be providing food vouchers for $15 this year to all the volunteers in the ticket booths, car show volunteers. These vouchers can be used at any food vendor at the carnival. Because this could not be possible without all the people that steps up and help fill those positions for the Anchor Fest. So we really appreciate that. This is one way we can finally get back to all the volunteers after all these years. The chamber also appreciates all the cooperation and help we've received from the city of Centralia. I want to know that we do appreciate you guys. We're still in need of a few spots to fill the ticket booth, so if you guys are interested, let me know or get a hold of Celestia. We're also looking for a few golf carts on Sunday for the car show judges and staff to get around. If anyone knows of anyone willing to borrow or rent their golf cart, let us know. They're much quieter and easier to get around in a crowded area.
I can't remember how much it costs through M&M, but you can call them and they'll rent them.
Well, I was thinking that we tried to do that when they said they didn't do it anymore, but I'll reach out to them and ask.
They might just do it for us, because the police department, I don't know, but.
I'll have one of the girls in the office reach out to them. Thank you. Jessica has the new chamber website up. It's not completed. She has several things she wants to add and then maintain. She is updating our membership directory, calendar, and with updated events happening in Centralia. She is looking for ways to automate more things, such as membership forms, which has already been used, forms for the ambassador program, which we are trying to promote and grow, as well as easily navigate for individual events that the chamber currently does, such as Anchor Fest Car Show and all the other things that we do, as well as anything that's promoted within the city, such as the Oktoberfest and Meet the Machines. All of that stuff will go on the website for people to go to and navigate and find those dates. Ashley has relaunched the chamber newsletter. She's actively working to make it more engaging and valuable for the members, inviting them to contribute content such as business updates, new products, and promotions. She is considering adding the QR code to link directly to the website and newsletter subscription page to boost accessibility, which will go out the first week of every month. She will also be doing member spotlights on one or two members monthly with their photo and a story of them or their business. Jessica, Ashley, and I were able to visit most of the downtown businesses the last 2 Thursdays to introduce them and encourage them to contact the chamber office if they have any questions or concerns or ideas. The goal is to visit all the other businesses off the square within the next few weeks. Jessica let them know that she maintains the email and addresses them on a daily basis. And we actually, after visiting with some of the downtown businesses, we had a lot of really good positive responses from visiting them. This will be maintained throughout the year to strengthen relationships and enhance support. These check-ins will focus on understanding how the chamber can better assist members, promoting the use of chamber bucks, and identifying opportunities to increase efficacy and visibility. Last month, you guys were given the promotional events plan for 2025 and 2026. Ashley will be presenting the Wine and Whiskey Walk next month so that we can finalize the vendors and start promoting that. And hopefully we'll get that passed again. This is one of the chamber's biggest source of income, which is separate from the Anchor Festival. The goal is not to utilize Anchor Fest income to support the chamber, but to supplement if needed. Anchor Fest should be a standalone event where we can be financially stable with no worries, and the same should be applied to the car show. Last month, I mentioned something about a raffle event that the chamber would like to start promoting. We're asking 4 to 5 prime parking spots for the tractor parade for 2025. The goal is to sell those for $5 each or 5 for $20. These spots we are considering would be in the city parking lot on the corner by Albert Shoe. All monies for this event would be earmarked and promoted for the Centralia Fire Department. Then for 2026, we are asking for the same parking spots on Friday night or day, and then on Saturday night or day. The winners would have the option and block off those specific time frames that they would use them. We check with the winners to see what time frame they wanted, so they would have the time frame. And then the chamber would open those spots up for extra parking for the actual, whatever time it wasn't reserved for. This money would go towards chamber to help with the day-to-day costs. Brittany presented $2,000 scholarships Friday night to Bree Crockett and Rachel Crow. These are the two young ladies in the high school internship Anchor Fest program. They have been learning the process of how to put on a carnival event. They have been essential in promoting, presenting, learning budgets, organizational skills, and much more. They will also be involved the weekend at Anchor Fest. We're also hoping to do this very same thing with the car show and provide a scholarship for 2026 for the car show. Funds that is made from the car show. Chamber took an ad out for the summer and winter edition for the Columbia, Missouri magazine. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Ashley created a new and refreshed logo with the updated events that will be happening in Centralia this summer, and then that will be updated for all the winter events that's happened. June the 12th is going to be after hours, hosted by Home Bank. I think the time is going to be 5 to 6:30. The chamber will add this to the newsletter and will post it on the website. We would like to get things finalized on the new Welcome to Centralia sign. We'll need to get permission to replace the old sign off Highway 22 going towards Mexico. That's out there by Hubble. Then look into the possibility of placing a new sign going the other directions towards Sturgeon, somewhere by the Jim Butler area. So, yeah, I can get on the agenda for all the ones or something to see if that needs to be, what we need to do, at least the raffle and the signs. I'd appreciate it because we'd like to start moving forward with those. We've got a time limit that we have to spend that ARPA money, and that's going to take a pretty good sized time. The other side note is, I think there's a very good possibility that we might have a center for when people come to town. Just lost it. Community center.
The welcome center?
A welcome center. We talked to Aaron Adams and asked him if he would be interested in allowing the chamber to make entry of that business into a visitor center where we're going to have maps of all the businesses, brochures, and things like that. So he thought that would be, we could probably do something like that. So we're kind of excited about that too. So somebody that comes into town, the chamber office isn't open. There's brochures and things that they would know how to get around go to for the city. There.
I think we've seen a lot of collaboration with Chamber, and I find it to be very positive what's going on in the organizational situation that y'all have now. And it just seems like you got a lot of good things going. So we're excited to partner with you, I think, is the first statement, without question. So appreciate what you're all doing to keep us in the know and update us and let us know what's going on and how can we help and back and forth. So you all did a great job with that.
We're getting there. We got our foundation now.
Right.
So now we can start building on that. So we're pretty excited too. Mm-hmm. So now I think that a lot of the businesses are going to see a lot of action happening in the chamber, more involved in the businesses, and start doing more economic development stuff on the chamber. The board is. So because now we've got somebody else to handle all the events and all of that, and that's what we're spending all of our time on, which is what our job is. So, we're pretty excited. We got 2 new people on the board, and they're pretty excited too. So, yeah.
Maybe I'll take a turn to the ticket booth.
Okay.
You're in.
Oh, I already signed up for one. If I do 2 more,
Oh, wait a minute. I'm supposed to let you know.
oh no, you don't give me the $15. Huh?
You chose the time that city's gonna get recognized.
Oh, yeah, you can't work then.
So,
Well, I'm not working till 11 o'clock. No. That's the one you're gonna give me.
Past his bedtime.
no,
We'll get it figured out. Let's get together.
yeah,
I'll get with you. Send me some opportunities, okay?
I'll let, Celeste is in charge of that. I'll have her
Okay.
send that to you,
That's fine.
and I'll let her get a hold of you. To let her know. Thank you.
864-9550.
95. Well, you might be able to get a soda. Voucher.
Well, I wouldn't count on the pay.
And you get to run the.
Kinda like being a mayor. I wouldn't count on the pay.
Signed up for the Dunkin' booth, you just didn't know it.
I'm glad to do it.
Okay, thank you, Betty. Park Board, their meeting minutes is in the packet. Any comments about that? Library Board, any minutes from the Tree Board.
First time in living history. I do have comments on the tree board minutes because there's going to be, we're gonna have to pass an ordinance, to change the tree recommendations. And I went through their list. And, two of the items on their list, the amber maple and the golden rain tree, are both considered invasive species in the US. In fact, the golden rain tree is on Missouri Department of Conservation's plant this list. So 9 of those should be included on our list. We recommend that the amber maple, being a mid-sized tree, be replaced with a red maple, and it has a similar, well, not exactly the same reddish color, but it's still a reddish color, and is a maple tree. For the golden rain tree, I would which is a small size tree, I'd replace that with the eastern redbud. And a tree that blossoms beautifully in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my recommendation.
And the red maple instead of the,
Red maple instead of the amber maple. And eastern redbud instead of the golden rain tree. Both of those need to be stricken from the list. Now, believe it or not, the Japanese is not considered an invasive species. It's actually considered a good replacement that they have on their list for the large trees. It's considered a good replacement for elms. It's an elm-like tree that is becoming popular. And there are some good disease, as they mentioned the disease resistant American elm. There are some good disease resistant. I want to say that one of them is Valley Forge was one that was being looked at for a while as a cultivar elm, but it's not as resistant as another one that name I can't recall, but it's any kind of search line up. So yeah.
thank you.
That's all I got. I've been waiting on that work for a long.
Any other comments on the tree board minutes? Are we going to have them allow them to plant within our right of ways?
Only the city can plant within the street right of way. And no one is supposed to plant within like 20 feet of utility easement.
There's a whole bunch of rules that is in the code that I don't think that we have been following probably for many years. And it's
We
hard.
intend to-
That's evident, because there's
It's hard
there's
probably
trees that are, and there's large trees that are between the sidewalks and the streets.
yeah.
We
Well,
do
but-
intend to push out a lot of education and information on
Yeah.
responsible
Yeah.
replanting and all of that.
We need to minimize the impact in 30 years from now. I mean, that's what you're talking about too with a lot of this stuff. So we need to put the practices in place and adhere to them consistently with that question, right? But
Yeah, it
best
just,
we can.
yeah, I mean,
Some of it gets in gray areas.
you gotta think about, not everybody's calling City Hall going, hey, I'm planting a tree, where can I plant the tree?
Right.
So you just, if you drive by and see it, you can make contact, but other than that, it's kind of a,
It used to be the norm, in, towns really across the country, for there to be trees planted between the sidewalk and the street. Considered a norm. It's a change. Some municipalities still do so with the municipalities taking those trees and putting them there. Some, will allow residents to do so long as they are from the prescribed tree list.
mhm.
I would not be opposed to us, amending the ordinance to allow such, so long as it is a certain distance from the, because it does look good. It does make an appealing street. Tree-lined street with some of them. Until they're dead.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we talked about it in the tree board, meeting, but not only the type of tree, but the root system in the tree, because a lot of our problems with our sidewalks in town are from the roots of the trees that we have planted, and so,
Which is in large part a matter of sidewalks not being properly maintained after the trees were planted and started growing and so forth. And there's also other things with roots out of it. Dear God, you don't want people planting weeping willows in town, or you're gonna have it infiltrating every water pipe within a quarter mile.
mhm.
That sort of thing.
I didn't see anything from cemetery board, I don't believe, did I?
They haven't met recently. We will have two, appointments at the Board of Alderman meeting for two of the positions though.
Financial statements, Tara, anything you want to point out?
Any other time. We are entering audit season and Miriam's been plugging away at that pretty hard. Getting ramped up for that.
Okay, accounts payable, I have this page 81, I believe. Accounts payable over 1250.
Is that Mississippi line? Is that for the liquor?
Mhm.
That's a
Fucking
big
water.
expense to have. How often do we buy that?
Quarterly.
It's a
About 15,000 a quarter?
It's doubled, I think. Did it almost double?
It went
I
up.
used to pay $4,000 for that.
Yeah.
I was at the water.
How long ago has that been?
2 years.
2.5,
Oh, yeah,
3.
it's almost 3 years.
Triple the price.
I know they're having a gravel problem. I didn't know, I guess I didn't know why.
Yeah,
And everything problem.
the problem with that product is, and with every product, is the hauling of it as well. It's, you might be able to find it cheaper further away, but they get you whenever you
Hauling fees.
pull that truck in. So, yeah, and quarterly probably was a pretty good estimate, and honestly, what we're running now, it may even be even longer, because we've been able to kind of dial it back and still reach the
They
numbers
put that in the semi truck and dump it. You all take it from that
It
point.
goes up in the tower above the water plant.
It's got a silo above it.
Silo, they pump it up there, and then it filters in by gravity.
Any other questions on accounts payable over 1250? Okay, then we've got a wide variety of speed limits around the roundabout.
Yes, so MoDOT contacted me, they're concerned that we have so many speeds around the roundabout. So they are looking at the section that is in your packet, where you've got the double red circles. That's the only area that they are considering changing the speed limit. So it goes from 30 mile an hour to 35 mile an hour to, I think, 40 mile an hour. So they're wanting to change that to 35 mile an hour, so it slowly goes into that. So we will need to, I believe we're gonna need to change our ordinance to set that speed limit.
But they're only talking about changing what's on the east in the double oval.
Yep.
Do we even have a say so in that? Really?
Do we?
I mean, I think that if we wanted to come back with a, it's 30 mile an hour leading up to that, if we just wanted to leave that at 30 mile an hour, I think that they would consider that because it is 30 mile an hour on the other side also.
What's your
Consistent,
preference, Carlin?
you
That's
know.
kind of your,
You can get them going into the roundabout, because what's happening now is people are coming to the roundabout, but they don't know if the car that's coming in, or that's already in the roundabout, is gonna get off or not, so the slower you can get them on that, be the first.
Because I was having a hard time understanding why they want to go to 35. So that was going to be my suggestion. Maybe we try to talk them to 30 mile an hour because, again, it's still a wide variety of speed. When she first called me and talked to me about it, I thought we were going to try and drop them down all the way around, but they're just looking at the one. So I think that it would make.
Well, if it's the other side's 30 mile an hour, it's consistent through there. That makes more sense for the drivers to know the speed limits and where it's at. you know.
honestly, 30 being on that east side of that because of all the entrances to your business is probably not a bad idea as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
And I'm sorry, it is 40 on the other side. I got my colors mixed up.
Well, we can,
That's where they're really coming in from the west. That's where they're coming in at high rate of speed.
I saw a load of dirt on top of it last week. That
I
somebody
mean,
didn't
it
realize.
would be bad to have 30. It probably wouldn't be bad to have 30 on the west side.
Yeah, you're gonna see that it doesn't really matter what the time, generally speaking.
I'm noticing a lot of big tire ruts
Coming
around
from the west,
that whole area. So
Have we had any accidents? And we
Well,
just
I
had
had one the other day as I was coming into the roundabout, a guy going westbound, switched over to the eastbound lane and was going up the left-hand side of the roundabout, was hauling a trailer. I stopped him and. He said, "Well, I'm around the town." It's like,
I'm not, I'm the police. I'm not from out of town, I'm the police.
Was he trying to
"Yeah,
get?
he's trying to-
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat him around the circle to get to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was some dirt on top of it.
Trying to store it over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was dirt out of nowhere.
Yeah, somebody had it hit it at a pretty good rate of speed and lost some dirt last week. Probably, I mean, good for the tire shops in town, but
It's the yield.
Dumping.
So do you want me to take that back to them? See if I can talk them into
Yeah.
30 mile an hour.
I don't want to say 30, yeah, because then it's more, the fewer changes you have, the better, I think.
Get with me tomorrow and see what you do.
Anything for as may arise.
The only thing I'd circle back to is, the raffle for the spots.
Mhm.
We probably need to have that sooner than later, because we're not too far away from,
We're not doing it this year for
oh,
the
okay,
Anchor Fest.
that's what I want to make sure.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I already told the chamber, I said, I'm not
Okay.
even.
Good, because it's good, yeah.
But we can start selling, it would be nice if we could sell over Anchor Fest because we get a lot of people in town.
Sure. We can, we just need to find out what we can and can't do with that. I mean, you know, what our options are as citizens, right, and the board, with Sydney probably.
I can double check.
Motion, we adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay.